Assalamu alaikum and thank you for watching Mubasher Lucman YouTube channel. We have a very, very serious subject today. A lot of them would not want to touch this subject, but I do. And I think there are certain things which are realities of life and we can't escape them. And we must confront them and deal with them. Israel is one such subject. Now, Israel currently is having a serious political crisis and they may go for a re-election. And there are many reasons for that. The citizens of Israel are totally divided over who should lead them and represent them through the middle part of the 21st century. And they have to make some very critical decisions now for the survival of the state itself. We have with us Shahid Ahmed Khan from the US Democrat Party over here. And we keep on discussing Israel and Israel issues with him. Let's start off with the elections. Do you see re-election over there?
It seems like there'll be a re-election. I think Bibi is not going to give up. Netanyahu is not going to give up, and because of multiple reasons, he has been accused of getting bribes and stuff like that. I mean, he doesn't want to leave that position at all, and he's going to go till. Bottom line is, I mean, I see there's a re-election. There will be a re-election in Israel.
You know, I have always wondered, for the last 142 days at least, every day I wonder about one thing, about the genocide that takes place in Kashmir, and serious genocide and human rights violations. And whatever I've read about the Jews and the Second World War and the concentration camps, I would have imagined that Jews would be the first one to denounce a concentration camp of this magnitude and human rights violations over there. Instead, I see the government of Israel, strengthening India and Indian hands even more. And, Modi is replicating for us. You may disagree, but for us, Modi represents Hitler of the Second World War and with the kind of genocide that's taking place over there. Why is Israel really a part of that?
Well, Israel probably is not the right example here. I think one thing we have to understand, nobody cares about the human rights in this world. First of all, I mean, we got to understand that and see what happened. I mean, Pakistan went to these human rights, whatever the commission, not the commission, but under the UN Charter, right? And look what happened there. I mean, so you can imagine, I mean, you're talking about human rights, you see what's going on in Sierra Leone, what's going on in Sudan, what's going on in many parts of the world, Darfur, whatever, right?
But can you imagine a life with
what I'm
curfew
just saying
for
is, what
140
I'm just saying is, again, what is your strategy, what do you bring to the table, and then you deal with it, right? And you have learned that this strategy is not going to work. So the crisis, in Kashmir, I mean, it's heaven knows. I mean, this is probably the largest human rights crisis in the world at this point. People are getting shot, people are getting blind, people are getting, I mean, this is the lowest level of human rights violation.
Serious atrocities.
I mean, you cannot even imagine going lower than that, right? But did anybody care? No. No, not. So, I mean, so the position of, you have to come up with a position of strength. You have to create yourself more relevant to this world. And you have to create friends who can stand by you. Whatever is happening, whatever is getting published in the Western media, whatever the voices you hear from the liberal media, it's not initiated by Pakistan. Pakistan is taking advantage of that. But that's their own thing. They just want to.
You think our foreign office has failed over there?
Well, it's not pass or fail. I don't think they have any impact on international. I don't think so. Not foreign office, so to speak. I mean, there are multiple organizations there.
I thought that we've adequately raised the Kashmir issue. And
well, they will keep raising it, but whatever is happening, it's not because of their effort. In the media, whatever is happening, it's not because of. If that could have happened, that could have happened in that human rights part of which was in Geneva.
Talking about
right, that's just not that you do not have enough vote to. So that could have been the real test, right, for Pakistan. Forget about getting published in the media.
Talking about making friends And do you think Israel and Pakistan should be on talking terms of some kind so that we can leverage out India of the equation? Is that the way to do it?
Well, I think there has to be some sort of a track to, or there has to be some B2B, or at some level there has to be some conversation with Israel. And this is not something out of line at all. Very recently, like a couple of months back, there was a delegation of Saudi media group visited Israel officially. So, and there are all this UAE and Qatar, whatever, whoever you name it, right? All these Middle Eastern countries. I mean, they have relationship going on with Israel. Turkey was the second one after
So
U.S.
why not Pakistan?
This is a good question to ask, right? And why not, right? I mean, so if you not savvy enough to understand that, I don't know what they are waiting for. I mean, I don't expect Pakistan to accept Israel. Pakistan has a leadership role in the Islamic world, right? I don't expect Pakistan, and they should not be accepting Israel. But at least there should be some across the table negotiations, dialogue, something. I mean, they are providing these drone technologies, drone agriculture technology
The world,
to
to
the
India.
world, to India. And Modi says, Netanyahu is a dear friend of mine, and so the only
That is
thing
why
is
Netanyahu lost.
well, hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
But what I'm just saying is, and Israel has no issue. They can provide the similar technologies to Pakistan, right? I mean, most of the companies, the top companies in the world, they have offices in Israel. What I'm just saying, just some rethinking is required, not accepting, but at least
How do you think we'll balance out by opening a dialogue with Israel and then balancing it out with Saudi Arabia and other Muslim
Saudi
states?
Arabia has nothing to do with it. Saudi Arabia is already in cahoot with them.
In cahoot with them?
Of course they are. I mean, they don't.
So the Iranian claims are not so far-fetched?
Well, what I'm just saying is Saudi Arabia, they don't. I mean, do you think they are going to lead the Muslim Ummah by not having relations with Israel? No, they will go whatever
Do you
is
see
good
this
for them.
changing in the near future, diplomatically, between Saudis and Israel?
Diplomatically, it's probably going to be a little while, but they have a good relationship now. Like I just said, I mean, 2 months back, I mean, they sent their official delegation.
Well, now Israeli planes, if I'm not wrong, they've been told to fly over the Saudi airspace, and that is a big step in that direction.
Well, it's not published, so I'm sure they will allow them if that works in their favor. It's a misperception we have. I mean, that's the reason they call us Hindi Muslims, right?
But what's the serious difference between Israel and Pakistan as you look at it?
There is no difference. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what is going on.
Really?
Honestly, I mean, I don't think there is any reason for Pakistan not to have conversation with Israel.
Yeah.
And maybe they meet in Jordan, maybe they meet in Qatar,
but
wherever.
Pakistan seriously feels about the Palestinian issue and the massacre of the
If you don't have Mubasher, if you don't have a seat on the table, forget it's like dining room conversation. I mean, who do we feel about Palestinians? We do feel about Palestinians, but who cares, right? I mean, if you're sitting talking in your living room and, saying, oh yeah, I care about, I mean, it's not going to make any difference unless you have a seat on the table. You have a voting right somewhere, or you can convince somebody, or the leadership of the world, or leadership of Israel, but that's the way to go. But if you don't even have it, what do you expect? Just keep talking. I mean, it's a humongous crisis right there.
72 years of hatred in the two countries without even
But
knowing.
Palestinians also hate Pakistan. You know that. Palestinians,
Well, they don't
because
love
they say in
Pakistan.
General Zia's time they bombed us. So, wow. What I'm just saying is, so people don't even understand what is going on. And we have to stand by Palestinians. There's no doubt about it. There are no argument about it. They say it's a crisis, it's another human rights crisis. And you have to deal with it. But you have to deal with it strategically. You have to deal with it in a very savvy way. You don't have to deal with sitting on the sideline and saying, oh yeah, there's a lot of atrocities are going on in Palestine. It's not going to work. It's not
By
working.
the way, do you realize that Palestine has a very large Christian population.
It is very large.
Almost
It's
as large as the Muslim
yeah.
population, if not bigger.
It's just like a percentage
So
wise.
actually, it is not Jews versus
Shua
Muslims.
Arafat was Christian.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
right.
it is
Yasser
Jews
Arafat's wife
versus the
was
rest
Christian,
of the
yeah.
world. The way I look at it, I mean,
And they all look at it. I because of my engagement, my involvement in the U.S. political system. So I deal with, of course, all kind of communities, but Jewish community is one of the most prominent community because they are attorneys, they are political activists, they are writers, they are journalists, they do a lot of good things. So I am affiliated with them in a way, right? Because I communicate with them. I don't see any hatred for Pakistan. I don't even, I mean, the Palestinian issue, I mean, it's
I've asked a lot of Pakistanis, and I'm talking about opinion makers.
yeah.
They have no idea about Israel, but they still hate it.
They just said it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you ask why, it's
Well,
yeah,
they'll
they
be-
keep hating it. I mean, it's not going to hurt them. And they also say, why? I mean, I sometimes in casual, when you have your guards down having conversation with these kind of people, they say we don't know. I mean, we should be liking each other. I don't know.
That must be in the later part of the evenings anyway, not in the mornings. But Shahid, thank you very much for joining us. Israel
My
and Pakistan
pleasure.
can solve a lot of problems in the region, for the Middle East, for the Palestinians, and of course for the Kashmir, if they sort of learn to coexist with each other. Remember, this is the 21st century. Either you coexist or you don't exist. Thank you for subscribing. Stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.